Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Thursday, the 29th of January 2026. So this video is attention to Israel only. So I'd like to say one hello to all the others and the Chachamim of Israel. So I thought that I come on board my channel here to discuss, the matters with Iran and also with the Ilan Bawa prophecy. Now, of course, you Israel only partially have fulfilled the Ilan Bawa prophecy, and together with America, if you like. And when you began that, I never prophesied that to you. God didn't give me, instructions to prophesy that to you, if you like. But nonetheless, because that prophecy has only been partially completed, I have been praying to God, especially, with all the latest news recently, with the American Armada, the Abraham Lincoln and so on, being there now in the Middle East, that I have been praying to God, for this past week, if you like, that if it's according to His will, to allow me to prophesy the reminder of the Ilan Bawa prophecy. Now, with the reminder of the Ilan Bawa prophecy, of course, you need to get rid of the Iranian leadership. In other words, the head of the snake. That's what the prophecy says. So, you need to get rid of the entire leadership of Iran. The prophecy tells us that, so you need to fulfill that. So yes, this is going to be very interesting. Remember, elders of Israel, that I have come to you prophesying, at a time in which you did not expect. And of course, I would like to remind you, begin now. Begin now, that sort of like shook you a little bit. That was the first earthquake that I gave you. And the second one was Sidon, beware Israel, for you don't know the hour. And having said this, beware Israel, for you don't know the hour. Remember that God always comes to me to prophesy to you when you are least expecting it. Exactly. And also even for me too, like when I least expect to prophesy, that's when God gets me to prophesy. So just remember, Israel, I don't want you to forget, beware Israel, for you don't know the hour. So, and that much two of us, Israel, also don't know the hour either. So, and this is actually very interesting, because about a week to about a week and a half after, whilst I was lying in bed, God the Father came to me, I'm going to take you out, I want you to serve me in heaven. Without even expecting that. So that was quite something, Here I am on my usual prophetic spot. You can tell by the white flag around me. So just remember, Israel, that I will come to you without you expecting it, and even without me expecting it either. So, I've been praying to God, if it's according to His will, to put me on the mix, with these last four big prophecies, the reminder of the Ilan Bawa prophecy. Of course, the Isaiah 17, things are brewing up in Syria. And also, with the secret word of 38, 39, and the third temple. So, yes, I have been praying to God that, if it's according to His will, to put me in the mix of these big prophecies, the last four. So, and, I could also perhaps even prophesy other things as well, So, as a prophet, I'm here to prophesy, the big things for things that are happening right now, and of course into the future. So this is actually quite something, So let's hope to God that I can prophesy, at least some of these big ones, so that I can glorify God, and therefore God can glorify me a little bit as well, and He can glorify Himself in the eyes of you, in the eyes of Israel, So let's hope so, That's what I'm here for as a prophet, to prophesy all these big things. So now I just finished deciphering the third temple of our prophecies. Next, I'm going to be deciphering Malachi chapter 4. I'm already on verse 2, and Malachi chapter 4 is only like 6 prophecies, but it's only a small chapter. It has Elijah, one of the witnesses, of Revelation, if you like. And even though it's a short chapter, it packs a big punch. I'm already deciphering the first 2 verses, and verse 1 is linked to a huge cluster of prophecies, beginning with the book of Psalms, So yes, this is gonna be quite something, to decipher, So I'm working on my backpack here, if you like. I got my Bible, so I'm hoping to go to the library, very soon. I'm gonna have lunch, I'm gonna do a bit of shopping, things like that, and then I'm gonna be trying to finish it off tonight if I can. This chapter in Malachi, chapter 4, the last prophet, of the Old Testament. I'm actually a prophet of all. So isn't this incredible? So yeah, it's like this, yes, I think this is all interesting, what's happening now, in the Middle East, there is no doubt that, of course, with the big American armada, I'm pretty sure you're going to attack your business because the prophecy in Elam says so. And, to have the Abraham Lincoln there and, America's Central Command General, I think that all of us know what's going to go down. So you need to fulfill and finish up with that prophecy. You need to get rid of the leadership of Iran. And this, of course, will trigger, the secret word of 38, 39, next month, during Purim, we got the blood moon in America. That's a signal or a prophecy for America, the second Israel, if you like, to, finish up, with fulfilling, with this prophecy, with Iran, if you like. And, finish it up with Elam, therefore, yeah, there's no doubt that this will cause, a civil war. So, once all these wars are over, then, the main thing would be to finish rebuilding the third temple, because we don't have a lot of time now. We have under 3 years before the rapture of the church. And, that temple is needed for Moses and Elijah. So, that should be, a priority. So, all these wars are needed to get out of the way to make sure that we rebuild the third temple, because once that's done, of course, the rapture of the church, we can expect that. And then, Jesus will come to gather his bride, and then, of course, the tribulation period, and then, of course, Jesus will be coming up for the millennial kingdom. So it's like this, yeah, of course, this is a very busy period for you, elders of Israel. I'm saying this because, I also have prophecies about me, and God is going to take me out so that I can serve Him in heaven, and I'm actually, an eternal prophet now of God, God has made me for Him, and, I didn't know this through pretty much the entirety of my life, except, in these final moments of my life here on earth, in which God has raised me up as a prophet, and He has kept me, hidden and secret, and even secret unto myself, because, I didn't know there was going to be a prophet, only when I began doing all this, so this is quite incredible, God has made me for Him. I'm going to be raptured out. I'm going to be raptured out just like Enoch and Elijah, the third one. And, I've been thinking about this. I do wonder whether Enoch, Elijah, and even Moses, because Moses died, he got told to, go to Mount Nebo, and then he died, but then God buried his body, right? So is it possible then that God could have given, Moses, when he died, also Enoch and Elijah glorified bodies? Because don't forget that Moses and Elijah are the two only priests that stand before God. So they are paramount to God. So it's possible that they could have been given glorified bodies. And I'm saying this because when God takes me out, it is possible that he might give me a glorified body, so going to heaven, and I'm not sure if I'm coming out for the rapture, meaning, the dead in Christ, they're not really dead, the souls are in heaven, but they will come out to get their glorified bodies. So I'm a very special case, and so I'm not really sure, if I will be coming out, because there is an opportunity that I could be getting my glorified body. So once God takes me out, or when He takes me out, so this is actually interesting. And I'm a very special case, because God has made me for Him, I'm all God's, even my name, Gabriel, God is my strength, and that's true, because all the big things that have happened to me, God has proven, to me that He is my strength, exactly, I should probably do a Secrets of the Prophets, soon, to reveal some interesting things, so yeah, it's possible, that I could get my glorified body. So yeah, God has prophecies about me, and yes, it's very scary, all this, very scary. So what's my biggest fear? My biggest fear is, God is my biggest fear, when God takes me to heaven, and I have to serve God, it's an honor. Of course, it's an honor, because who gets these kind of roles, Enoch, of course, and Moses and Elijah, who are the two olive branches, they have been honored, and God has also honored me as well. But nonetheless, it's very scary. It's an honor, but it's also very scary, serving God, But you might say to me, well, you're a prophet, you should be used to it, especially all the big things that you have prophesied. I understand that, but, one thing is actually being here prophesying, and another thing is being, in the presence of God, yes, for me, and, the stakes are going to be higher, the responsibility and things like that, so it's very scary for me, so this is my biggest fear, so, yeah, so yeah, it's like this, anyway, that's all I wanted to say with this short video, 12 minutes. Yeah, we'll finish up, with Malachi, chapter 4, and then, yeah, of course, you elders of Israel fulfill the end times, I have prophesied to you all the prophecies that you need in order to fulfill everything. So you have all the orders, in other words, all the marching orders from God to fulfill the end times. So, of course you are doing all this already, and, to me the main priority is to see the rebuilding of the third temple. I'm looking forward for all these wars to be out of the way, because of the urgency of rebuilding the third temple, because of course the importance of the rapture of the church, in that Jesus needs to gather His bride. So like I said, we got under 3 years now, so the clock is ticking, so that's a big priority. So yeah, it's like this, and yeah, hopefully, God can put me in the mix, so yeah, just like to finish up by saying this, yeah, just, from my prophetic experience, expect me when you least expect me, Israel, because I can always come to you when you least expected me, so, remember when I prophesied to you, begin now, that probably shook you, and you probably thought, what was that, yeah, that was a big rattle, wasn't it, and a big wake-up call, and you probably thought, we need to take this prophet now very seriously, and then on top of that, when I prophesied to you, Sidon, and then you thought to yourself, that game over, God has sent us a prophet, because I come to you perfectly on time. And I even prophesy to you, beware Israel, for you don't know the hour, right here on the spot in which God is going to use me to prophesy to you, and neither do I. That makes two of us, exactly. So, so it's interesting because when God gets me to prophesy these big prophecies, they're pretty big, and of course, I need to move there, with the back of the church and everything. These are big prophecies. So that's it, Elders of Israel. I've got to move on, some distractions back there, I've got that piano there next to my prophetic spot, which can be a bit of a nuisance, but I like my spot because I actually have prophesied, big things in there. So, in that spot. So, but anyway, it's like this. Someone just sat down to play the piano there. So, pray for me also, that's Israel, that I can actually prophesy all these big things, because this glorifies God, and it's like this, so, and God is going to take me out, it's going to be incredible. So, all these big things, aren't we grateful that, that God has put us, at this time, for a time such as this? Who would have thought that, that God will send a prophet of my caliber, to prophesy, all these big things, especially the rapture of the church, which brings Jesus out, together his bride, and therefore it also brings Jesus out for the millennial kingdom. And that will be the next Gabriel out of, Gabriel the Archangel, Gabriel and myself, who could probably, give the orders to bring Jesus out for the millennial kingdom. Because if you think about the pattern, Gabriel the Archangel, of course he came to Daniel, and things like that, with dates and so on, and we know that he came to Zechariah and Mary, but then it was my turn here, right, to bring Jesus out, because I prophesied the rapture of the church. I must leave before the rapture of the church. I already prophesied that, because next after me is the Archangel Gabriel, who's going to blow the trumpet and utter his voice to bring Jesus out with the voice of the Archangel Gabriel. And then, so he's next. So I must be next to bring Jesus out for the millennial kingdom, according to the pattern, you see? So I will have the honor to bring Jesus out for the millennial kingdom. Isn't that incredible? So, it's an honor, it's just like this, it takes courage to be a prophet, it takes courage. And my God has delivered me, from all my troubles, and even in recent times I can see how God has delivered me, from my troubles and things like that, And so God has given me the right name, He is my strength, He is my source of strength, no doubt about it, So this is quite incredible, So yes, it's an honor to be a prophet. It's scary as well. It takes a lot of courage, and you have to remain humble with all of this, because you get all these cries from God, So so it's like this. So yes, as for me, aside from the big prophecies, God has to fulfill his prophecies about me, that's going to be quite something, So yeah, that's going to be incredible, So so it's like this, this is what it's like to be a servant of God, you live with the fear of God, and it's like this, it's like this. So it's a great honor, it's a great honor, and not many people get chosen like this. And but what I'm trying to say here is that it's very fearful. The fear of God, with prophesying, with a call like this, is tremendous. And when you hear the whispers of God, you feel so happy. Yes, it's incredible. It's like this. All right, thank you, that's all Israel. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Amen. Fulfill the end times. Okay.